Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about analysis versus summary. Before we can even start talking about the next part of paragraph format, which is tiebacks, we need to understand the difference between analysis and summary. So hopefully this video today will give you some idea of the difference between the two so that you are aware of what you need to be writing when it comes to tiebacks. So as we go through this video, please take notes. Please make sure that if I say you need to write something down, that you write it down because you're going to be turning some stuff in by the end of this lesson. All right, so first we need to go over the difference between summary and analysis. So take a second to pause this video and write down in your notebook in the section where you've been taking notes about paragraph format, and write down these things. So pause the video now and write down these differences between summary and analysis. All right, now that you're done taking those notes, let's talk about this a little bit. So summary is a lot easier, and I'm guessing it's the way that most of you were taught to write in middle school, which is fine, but now we need to move on to analysis. So summary is just reviewing or retelling a story or ideas. There's no interpretation. It's way easier than analysis. You're not coming up with anything new. You are just telling exactly what happened. So, for example, let's say you saw somebody start a food fight in the cafeteria. When you went home and your parents said, "What happened at school today?" And you said, "Oh, well, I saw this kid throw his ham sandwich at another kid." That's summary. You're not coming up with any interpretation or any ideas of why that kid might have thrown a ham sandwich at somebody else. It is simply just what happened. So what I want you to do in your notebooks now is write down your favorite movie. So think of your favorite movie. Then I want you to write a summary of your favorite movie. So don't tell me why you liked it or why you think it's the best or which characters you really liked or which ones you hated. Just tell me what happens in the movie. Press pause on the video and write that in your notebook now. All right, now that you have a summary of your favorite movie, let's think about analysis. Analysis is a little different because you have to kind of take a risk with analysis. There's always the possibility that you could be wrong. But if you have enough evidence to back it up, you can always be right as well. So analysis is when you examine something or you evaluate something. It's interpretation. It is your own ideas about what happened. So if you think back to that food fight in the cafeteria example where the kid threw his ham sandwich, you might say, well, he looked really angry. So I think he was angry because his face told me that and his actions told me that. That's analysis. If you say that you think the other kid who was getting the sandwich thrown at him was scared because he looked scared, he was turning away and trying to block himself with his tray, that's all analysis. If you tell me that you think those kids hated each other because the kid who was throwing the ham sandwich was swearing at the other kid, that's analysis. So it's any interpretations of the events based on the evidence that you're given. Make sense? So now what I want you to do is review your summary of your movie that you have written in your notebook. Then I want you to write an analysis of your movie. So why was your movie the best movie ever? What makes it so great? Why are the characters so amazing? Any of those things where you're kind of arguing means that you are looking more at analysis. So pause the video right now and go ahead and write your analysis in your notebook. All right, so now that you're back, let's work on summary and analysis a bit more. So if you look at this picture, a summary of this picture would be that there's a toddler sitting in a brown body of water. There's garbage floating in the water. There are trees and branches in the water. And that's about it. That's a summary. You're telling us exactly what you see in this picture. You're not telling us what you think might have happened. You're not telling us why you think this baby is sitting in this water by themselves. You're not even telling us whether you think this kid is a boy or a girl. You are just looking at what you can see physically. Make sense? All right, here's an example of an analysis. So the analysis is a horrible storm came through, destroying trees and spreading debris. Even as she sits in a polluted body of water, the baby is not hurt or distressed by the situation. So this is analysis, because instead of just telling us what we see, we actually use what we see to come up with some kind of explanation or interpretation. So the analysis of this saying that there was a horrible storm, you could back that up with the fact that there are fallen trees and the garbage could have been blown into the water by damaging storm winds. We see that the kid is sitting in the water, but the person who wrote this analysis says that the baby's not hurt by the situation because they don't seem upset. This baby's face seems pretty calm, pretty relaxed, doesn't seem like she's that upset by the situation. So that's analysis. One of the most important things you need to remember when it comes to analysis, though, is that you have to be able to back this up. You can't say that you think a beluga whale came in and sprayed a whole bunch of water on this baby, which caused all this to happen, because there's no evidence of that, and it seems wildly unlikely. So when you are doing analysis, you need to make sure that whatever you are saying can be backed up by evidence. All right, now that you have an idea of what summary and analysis looks like, let's do a little bit more practice. So take a look at this picture that's in front of you right here. What I need you to do is pause this video and take a few minutes to write down a summary of this picture. Remember, just tell me what's going on in the picture. Don't make any assumptions. Just tell me exactly what you see. Pause the video now and write that in your notebook. Now that you have a summary, let's look at analysis. So look at this same picture and tell me what you think is happening. So don't just tell me that there's a house and an orange sky. Tell me why you think there's an orange sky. What is the person doing? Why are they doing it? What's going on? Where do you think this is? Tell me all of those things. Make sure that you can back up whatever your argument is with evidence. So you can't tell me that you think that unicorns are coming to destroy her house, because there's no evidence of that. You need to tell me what you think is happening and be able to back it up with whatever evidence you see in the video or in the picture. So go ahead and pause the video again and write your analysis in your notebook. All right, now that you have an analysis of a picture, let's try an analysis of a text. You guys do this all the time. You get a text from somebody and you try and figure out what's the subtext. What do they really mean when they're saying certain things? So take a look at this conversation between Gertrude and another person, and I want you to write an analysis. So who are the people involved? What are their feelings towards each other? What's their relationship to each other? What's going on? Remember, you have to be able to back it up with evidence, so you can't make any kinds of wild claims about what happened, but you can make some general assumptions based on the information that we are given. So pause the video again and write your analysis in your notebook. So all of this information that you're getting today is really important when it comes to writing a paper, because